Mrs. Helen was 58. Every morning began the same way. She sat on the edge of her bed and waited, not to wake up, but to see how much her body would hurt that day. Her knees felt rusty. Her fingers were stiff and slow. Her hips ached like they had aged overnight. She told herself this was normal. She told herself this was just life after 50. Everyone her age complained about joints, so she adapted. She moved slower. She avoided stairs when she could. She planned her day around pain. What frustrated her most was that she was doing everything right. She ate what she believed was a healthy diet. Lots of home-cooked meals. Very little junk food. Nothing excessive. Yet the pain kept getting worse. Doctors checked her joints. Nothing alarming. No severe arthritis. No injury. Just mild wear and tear for her age. She was told to manage it. Pain relief when needed. Light exercise. Acceptance. But one detail kept bothering her. Her pain was worst in the morning. Before movement. Before activity. Before she had done anything at all. That did not make sense to her. One evening, while scrolling through health information, she came across something unexpected. It wasn't about joints at all. It was about inflammation. It explained that joint pain often begins far away from the joints, in the gut, in the bloodstream, in everyday foods that quietly trigger inflammation. One food stood out, a food Mrs. Helen consumed almost daily, a food she never questioned: refined vegetable oils, the oils used for frying, for cooking, for salad dressings, for packaged foods labeled as healthy alternatives. She learned that these oils are high in omega-6 fats, and when consumed daily, they can fuel chronic inflammation, especially in women after midlife, when hormone changes make the body more sensitive to inflammatory signals. Mrs. Helen didn't overhaul her entire diet. She made one simple change. She removed refined vegetable oils. She switched to olive oil for gentle cooking. Butter in small amounts. Nothing extreme. The first week, nothing changed. The second week, mornings felt slightly different. Her fingers loosened faster. By the third week, she noticed she was standing up without bracing herself. By the fourth week, she realized she had gone days without reaching for pain relief. The pain did not disappear overnight. It faded quietly, like a background noise, slowly being turned down. Here is what happened. Her joints were not failing. They were inflamed. Once the constant inflammatory trigger was removed, her body could finally calm itself. Healing did not need to be forced. It needed space. Mrs. Helen did not reverse aging. She removed a daily irritant, and her joints responded. The lesson is powerful. Joint pain is not always about damage. Sometimes it is about what you eat every day, without realizing its impact. Small changes can bring relief where pills never did. And sometimes healing begins not with adding something new, but by removing the one thing quietly working against you.